Happy New Year. I'm Amanda Brawley, and I am honored to serve as worship associate for our beloved congregation. On behalf of all our members and friends, I welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North congregation, which we affectionately call UUMAN. We are a proud liberal faith community and a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. Our mission is as follows: nurture our spirit, strive for justice, transform the world. And our vision is, UUMAN is a vital and visible community for all, bravely working towards the day when social, economic, and environmental justice are a reality. If you are visiting with us online for the first time, we gratefully welcome you for choosing to spend some time with us. Please fill out our online visitor form that you can access from the homepage of our website, UUMAN.org. That's UUM as in Metro, A as in Atlanta, N as in North.org. And someone from our membership team will contact you. We will be having an online Google Meet coffee and conversation check-in session at 10:45 a.m. this morning after the service. The link for this can also be found on the homepage of our website. Feel free to email communications@UUMAN.org to be added to our newsletter in order to stay updated on any announcements and events. Our next UU 101 Path to Membership class is being scheduled virtually in 2 parts. We will meet online Saturday, January 9th from 10 a.m. to noon, and then again on Sunday, January 17th at 11:15 a.m. after the service. If you are new to our congregation or to Unitarian Universalism, or are considering becoming a member of UUMAN, or you just want a refresher on the basic tenets of our faith, this class is for you. A sign-up is available online on our homepage. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email membership@UUMAN.org. This class is a great way to ring in the new year. And again, welcome to UUMAN. And now, let us prepare our hearts, our minds, and our spirits for worship, quieting ourselves, being still. Just be here, be now, in this moment, in this virtual space with each other, remembering that we are each of us part of the vast interconnected web of all existence. Whoever you are, whatever color you are, whomever you love, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here.
Good morning and welcome to the first Sunday service of 2021. Finally, yes, 2020, goodbye. And as Jennifer Radcliffe would say, amen. Amen. Can I get an hallelujah? Yes. Welcome. The Reverend Joan Javier Duval writes, "You are beloved and you are welcome here. Whether tears have fallen from your eyes this past week, or joyful laughter has spilled from your smiling mouth, whether you are feeling brave or broken-hearted, defiant or defeated, fearsome or fearful, whether you have untold stories buried deep inside, or stories that have been forced beyond the edges of comfort, whether you have made promises, broken promises, or are renewing your promises. In other words, if you are alive and here this morning, whatever is on your heart, however it is with your soul at this moment in this space of welcome and acceptance, commitment and recommitment of covenant and connection, you are beloved and you are welcome here. Good morning.
Hey guys, like any good millennial, I use a lot of apps in the smartphone to get things done. And recently I discovered the Worship Web app, which is a Unitarian Universalist app, and I highly suggest you download it. And it has a chalice lighter. Let us light our chalice as we share this virtual time together. Now is the time in our service when we share with each other any joys in order to multiply their blessing, as well as sorrows, to divide the weight of their burden. Please use the chat feature on YouTube now to share yours if you are tuning in to the service live this morning. My joy is that we have been having a lovely time here with family in Colorado, hence the abnormal, not normal background. And here is to a great new year, and that we will all be able to be physically together again.
Once upon a time, a man, our hero, a man who had had a difficult life, a life of many starts and stops, with many failures and dead ends, finally at this late age, found a new direction for himself. It had taken him years to get to this point, but now he was sure of what he needed to do. He needed to act now, however. The opportunity would not wait. So he made his preparations and he set forth on his journey. He felt renewed, enthused. He felt like he was a young man again, 20 years younger, full of joyful optimism and exuberance. He had never had such clarity of purpose. On his journey, he came to a high bridge that crossed a river that was far, far below, hundreds of feet below. He began to cross the bridge, and he noticed a man coming towards him from the other direction on the bridge, and they met in the middle. And the stranger said, "Pardon me, but would you mind holding this for a moment?" And he put in his hands a rope that was tied around the man's waist. Our hero was surprised and instinctively grabbed on to the end of the rope that was given to him. The stranger said, "2 hands now, hold on tight." And he proceeded to jump off the bridge. The rope let out, and then the man jerked to a stop, more than 50 feet below the bridge deck, yet still hundreds of feet above the river below. "What are you doing?" our hero asked. "Hold tight now," said the stranger. "This is ridiculous. Don't let go or I'll be lost." "Why did you do this?" "Remember, I'm your responsibility." Our hero struggled to hold on to the rope. He tried to pull the man up, but he could make it only a little way. He looked for something to tie the rope to, but could find nothing. He looked around for help, yet there was no one. Here he had just found his joyful purpose in life. He was full of this joyful exuberance and this new direction, and now this could disrupt all his plans. "I can't pull you up all the way." "It's okay, you're doing fine. Just hold on or I'll be lost." "What do you want?" "Just your help." If our hero remained stuck like this, in this predicament, he would miss his opportunity, his opportunity to achieve his new goals. And he thought up a plan. He shouted down to the stranger below, "Listen to me carefully, because I mean what I am about to say. I will not accept the position of choice for your life, only for my own. The position of choice for your own life, I hereby give back to you." "What do you mean?" said the stranger below. "I mean, it's simply up to you. You decide how this ends. I'll hold on, but you must pull yourself up now." The man said, You cannot mean what you say. I'm your responsibility. I could die. Do not do this to me." Our hero held on to the rope. The man did not climb, yet said, "I'm relying on you." Our hero said, "I accept your answer." And he let go of the rope and continued on his way. The bridge. Are there personalities that thrive on chaos and disruption? Do we give them the center stage, the microphone? Do the needs of the needy seem to arise when things are going well? Why? Also, think about the reverse of the bridge scenario. Are there people who feel it's their job to hold on to other people's ropes, even when they aren't asked to? What does it mean to say, if I'm not here, we'd be in for disaster? Edwin Friedman says, the colossal misunderstanding of our time is the assumption that insight will work with people who are unmotivated to change. The chief cause of stress and burnout is not overworking, like we all think, but getting stuck in other people's problems. We will have a musical interlude for 1 minute or so. Feel free to comment on this story in the chat. Feel free to comment on the story in the chat. What are your thoughts? Once upon a time, in the friendly forest, there lived a lamb who would love to graze and frolic about. One day a tiger came and said, I would like to live amongst all you animals here in the friendly forest. All the animals were delighted because they didn't have a tiger. The lamb was apprehensive. Don't worry, they all said. We'll talk to the tiger. We'll tell him about the rules and so on and so forth, such and etc. So the lamb went about grazing and frolicking, yet soon found the tiger following her and making some threatening growls. The tiger always seemed to be around, maybe stalking her. She complained to her friends. Oh, it's just your imagination, they said. Tigers will be tigers. That's the nature of tigers. The lamb continued to graze and frolic, yet it was not as joyful as before, because the tiger was always lurking, watching, growling. Oh, you're just being too sensitive, her friends said. Then the lamb began to think, why should I let my relationship with just one member of the forest ruin my relationships with all the others? Well, the lamb, she couldn't take it anymore and said, I'm leaving. Don't be silly. We'd be sad if you left. Let's work this out. We're all reasonable here. Let's all sit down together and communicate. The lamb thought, such well-intentioned meetings often end up with compromise, with each party being asked to give a little. The tiger might agree to growl less, but what would she be asked to do? Should she be asked to tolerate the tiger's threats and stalking? Agree to be threatened just a little bit? She didn't do anything. Only the tiger had done something. Why should she be asked to compromise? Why should she be asked to tolerate threats? And when she explained this to her friends, they said it's important that they keep communicating. Be reasonable. Don't be so sheepish. A wise elephant overheard this and said, I have never heard anything so ridiculous. If you want a lamb and a tiger to live in the same forest, you don't try to make them communicate. You cage the tiger. The friendly forest. Do you think the animals of the friendly forest would ever ask the tiger to leave or be caged? They say that it's the tiger's nature to be threatening. Why would they then think that communication would change that nature? Can consensus and compromise favor and give voice to extremists and those who threaten others? Why do the animals excuse the tiger's nature, yet try to make the lamb adapt? Is this fair to the other members of the forest, the business, family, congregation? Edward Friedman writes, "Actually, religious institutions are the worst offenders at encouraging immaturity and irresponsibility. In church after church, some member is passively, aggressively holding the whole system hostage, and no one wants to fire him or force her to leave because it wouldn't be the Christian thing to do." Again, we will have a brief musical interlude, and feel free to comment on the friendly forest in the chat. We'd love to hear your thoughts. One August evening, Miss Mary Muffet, a spider of the species Energia nervosa, spun a perfect web. It was spun in the corner of the Brown family barn. It was a perfect web. All the angles were equal. All the segments were of equal length. All the width between the segments equal. The web was neat and clean, not a blemish. Perfection. You get the message? It was perfect. Yet Miss Muffet didn't realize it. It wasn't until she placed herself at the web's center, awaiting some unsuspecting prey, that she noticed the perfection of her web. This was not usually the case. She was very adamant about inspecting her webs. She always did. But she always found some geometric irregularity, some flaw. It was never perfect. It was never good enough. Never. Even though these past webs that had little flaws in them, even though they were perfectly functional, they didn't meet her standards. Until now, this web was perfect. Such perfection is rare, okay, let me tell you. It's like bowling a 300 game in bowling. It's like pitching a perfect game in baseball. It's like winning the lottery. It's like winning the parking space out front at UUMAN's service auction. There's somebody out there now in the space. I think it's whoever won. And since they can't take advantage of it, they just come up here and park in it just to satisfy themselves and collect on their winnings. Anyway, Miss Muffet, she thought she saw a blemish in her perfect web, and she scampered over, but no, it was just an optical illusion. It was perfect. She thought she saw a tear. She went over to it to investigate. No, it was perfect. As she admired her masterpiece, the entire web shook. A fly, buzzing about, threatened to tear the whole masterpiece apart. It was flapping its wings, creating a hole. Was Miss Muffet joyful to have caught a fly? No, this stupid fly is ruining my masterpiece. She ran over, and the fly, expecting to get wound up and eaten, found itself cut loose and flying away. Miss Muffet quickly repaired the damage done by the fly, and again, the web was perfect. Then a second jolt. A couple of mosquitoes. They ran into the web, and they were just sitting there waiting to die. And then they too found themselves cut loose, falling onto the ground and then flying off. And Miss Muffet again repaired her web. Then a cricket and a moth and the dreaded palmetto bug. They all got caught in the web, expecting to die, yet Miss Muffet ran over, cut them loose, and fixed her web. This went on all night. The next morning, a young girl came out to the barn to milk the cows, and she noticed this giant, perfect web with nothing caught in it and a spider at the center. She admired the web. It was perfect, a work of art. She touched the web. The spider didn't move. She touched the spider, and its lifeless body fell to the ground. The girl said, I guess it died of starvation. Caught in her own web. Would you want Ms. Muffet on your team? Or have her be your supervisor? Can perfection inhibit change and evolution? Could an entire institution be caught in its own web? Please add your thoughts in the chat during this musical interlude.
Hello everybody, this is Carla Capescas. I am here today to talk to you about our 50/50 collection for January. As most of you know, we have a 50/50 collection every month. We benefit a nonprofit that's doing good work in our community. And today we are doing a plate collection for Project South. Project South does amazing work in our community, in the Atlanta community, fighting economic inequality, racial injustice, and they've been doing this for a long time. They have a great credibility in the community, and now you're going to see a video that explains a little bit more the work they've been doing. So I ask you to please give generously today, so that we can benefit both UUMAN and Project South. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everybody. Bye-bye.
Project South grows social movements to eliminate poverty and genocide. We educate, connect, and organize. Sometimes that means direct action on the front lines. Sometimes it means supporting aligned organizations and communities to do their work. And it always means working with our communities, partners, and members to build movement leadership and power from the bottom up. Project South has expanded and evolved to meet the historical moment since a group of Southern movement organizers and activists founded Project South.
Our history in South Atlanta is one of the historically black neighborhoods settled by formerly enslaved people after emancipation. We have generations of families that are right here on our streets, from Carver Homes to Peoplestown to Summerhill, Pittsburgh, Adair Park, Mechanicsville, Ama Heights, and Joyland. We have held our communities down. Project South, rooted in the legacy of the Southern Freedom Movement with the mission to eradicate poverty and genocide. As we celebrate the long legacy of free African slaves in this country, we cannot ignore that black communities are being displaced from their neighborhoods in Atlanta by many of the same forces that worked to enslave us. Over the past couple of weeks, we have seen massive waves of our folks resisting state violence in response to several black deaths at the hands of the United States Police Force. This reality is reflected in the ways that police have treated our black bodies as objects, as disposable, and undeserving of life. We've seen the modern-day lynching of Ahmaud Arbery and the killing of our sister Breonna Taylor and our own brother Rayshard Brooks, who was murdered by the police in our neighborhood. This has not stopped us from our fight for freedom. Much like our ancestors that walked off the plantation in 1865 and started new independent lives that led to strong black communities across the nation, we have deepened our organizing to fight racist gentrification and criminalization of black communities in South Atlanta, tear down white supremacy, and eliminate the devastating poverty that we contend with every day.
No peace, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace.
Hi, it's me, Amanda, again. Here at UUMAN, we give of our time, our talents, and our treasure. The offering will now be gratefully received via the Givelify app by searching for UUMAN. That's Give, L-I-F-Y. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again.
David Brooks of the New York Times writes, "The bottom line is this. A defining question for any school or company, or I may add, congregation, is what is the quality of the emotional relationships here? Though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, may those relationships be healthy, whole, and may they add immeasurable joy to your life. Go in peace and enjoy your week."